Okay. I'm calling to order the May 16th meeting of the Altadena Town Council. It is 7:01. First on our agenda is, just going to turn it over to Victoria. Go ahead, Victoria. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. It did get hot in here. It is the candles, or our age. I have the distinct honor of introducing the person who will be leading us in our flag salute, and that is Principal Exposito from Jackson, and we'll get to that in just a second. She was a 3-year-old immigrant to the United States, having come to this country with her parents from the island nation of Cuba. After living in Florida for a year, her parents traveled to California in search of job opportunities, and she grew up in and around Los Angeles County. She graduated from Alhambra High School and earned a bachelor's from Pepperdine University. I went to LMU, we were rivals, as well as a master's degree in educational leadership from Cal Poly Pomona. She served for 34 years as a teacher, instructional coach, resource teacher, and has been principal for the past 13 years. She lives in Monrovia with her husband and has 2 grown children. Her daughter is an accountant by day and a mystery writer by night. Her son is currently in med school in Pennsylvania. Mrs. Exposito feels privileged to have led the school name change effort alongside dedicated parent leaders and teachers who were passionate about the cause. She could not be prouder of the process they engaged in or of the collective results of the effort. The name has been officially changed to Mary W. Jackson STEAM Multilingual Magnet Academy, and we are so honored and privileged to have them in Altadena and to have her here tonight to lead us in our pledge.
I'm so used to doing this with little kids. Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Face the flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And before you go, I have a little something for you.
Just tell a little bit about the name change. Just give us a little bit. Thank you.
If you wanted to say something about the other.
Put this down a little bit. So hello. I am very honored to be here. This has been actually the first town council meeting that I've been to, so it's exciting, and feel very honored to have been asked to just kind of talk about the name change and how it occurred. First of all, it was a community kind of request that originally I think it originally appeared on Nextdoor app, or App Nextdoor, or something like that. And it was basically a rise, not really so much within our school community as with outside of our community, the greater Altadena community, to change our name because of the negative legacy that was left behind by Andrew Jackson, especially in terms of inclusivity and tolerance and acceptance of people different from the majority. Of course, that was the summer during the emergency pandemic. And to be the principal of a school who, I've got to say, when I first became principal of Jackson, I remember thinking, oh no, I wish we were named after a better president. That was one of my first thoughts, as becoming the principal at the school. So I definitely understood the cry from the community, especially given the time 2.5 years ago and uprisings across the country, where really there was a lot of injustice going on. So This is the beginning of the emergency lockdown. I'm trying to figure out how to gather people online to listen to me when I, even post an online message or a phone call to a community. How do you build a community when no one is at school? So it was definitely a challenge. And so when I responded to certain members in the community that saw the Nextdoor app and were worried about it and really wanted to change the name as well, the first thing I said was, I think this is great. However, I don't think I can be distracted right now because my first and foremost job and responsibility is to the children and the families of our school. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do that when nobody's going to be present. So fortunately, I have a wonderful group of parents that said, well, we are willing to take this upon ourselves if you are willing to give us the responsibility. And of course, these were parents that I have known for a while, and I said, please, if this is something you want to do, then yes, check in with me, make sure that I'm aware of what's going on and that I approve what's going on, keep me abreast of everything you've done, but this is your charge, this is your baby. Let's go at it. So it definitely was difficult because the first thing we had, and I think it was probably the best attended event, it was pretty early on where it was a meeting in the Altadena Library, and it was for the greater community. So just to hear all of the voices and to go from there and kind of set a course as to how we were going to change the name of the school. Dr. McDonald, the superintendent of Pasadena Unified, did email me kind of a pathway to changing the name of the school, but the difficulty with that was, and it was established by the Board of Education, was that you needed to start with a name. And although Mary Jackson was a name that was very, I want to say, almost obvious for our school because that's Jackson, you wanted another Jackson, I kind of felt like if we choose Mary Jackson or anybody else, it needs to be chosen by the members of our school community. And I really strongly felt that in doing something so important, we had to involve all of our students, 100% of them from TK this year all the way through 5th grade. So that's exactly what we did. We held a series of meetings, a PTA meeting. The PTA, just to follow the process, approved our efforts, approved a name change, although we did not have a name yet chosen. What we did was, in one of our meetings, we just asked for people's opinions. We sent out a form and we said, go ahead and let us know, who do you want to name our school after? And so people there were all kinds of names. The top 4 names were Mary Jackson, Ellen Ochoa, oh, yes, Dolores Huerta, of course, and also Hahamanga, which was in order to honor the Native Americans who lived in this region where we are now standing. So then again, still difficult. This is like maybe a year and a half into it. We're still in a pandemic. The following year, we all come back to school, but it seems like at least a quarter to 30% of our kids are absent. We have all kinds of, and it's not just at Jackson, this is really pretty much everywhere, all kinds of shortages in terms of staff. Each and every one of us was doing 5 and 6 jobs. We were short a custodian, and we were short, and this is a head custodian we were short, and a nurse in the middle of a pandemic. So definitely all of us just trying to do the best we can. So the name change took a little bit of a back seat because we were really struggling to survive and still provide the best possible education we could given the circumstances to our students. So it really wasn't until this year that, at the end of last year, that we said, that's it. This is taking too long. 2 years, too long. We got to get it done. The only tiny little stickly, I want to say, stickler. It was something that we really needed to address was the name Hahamanga. And the reason for that was because when we reached out to some of the representatives of the Tongva tribes, Gabrielino tribes, they were not really happy about that name because they traced it according to their traditions to a chief, Chief Hahamanga, a chief of their tribe. And in their culture, they do not believe in, I guess, putting people on a pedestal that way. And they do not like to name any place after people. So when we heard that, the person that told us this also gave us the name Shishanga, which means place of the willow. And we all voted to go ahead and have that replace Hahamanga. And so now we had 4 names to choose from. So when this school year began, we started to really put together an educational package for our students, a ballot. We had done a lot of research on each name and asked the students to do the same, to read up on it, to really become familiar with the 4 names. We sent home a package with the ballot and a little bit of information about each person, or in this case, tree. And so we finally did have all of the staff and children. They are the people that actually voted via Google form. And our thinking was, if we open it up to parents, it's like, it's not really, it's almost doing double duty because part of the students' homework was to take home this package and speak to their parents about it. So pretty much the parents and the children agreed on the name. So we went ahead and allowed the students to TK all the way through 5th, and our staff, teachers, all staff to vote. And it was quite, I want to say conclusive. So that is how Mary W. Jackson was chosen for our school, as the namesake for our school.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
We wanted it to be a very democratic process, and we wanted to
And it
start
was.
with choices for our families, because I didn't want anybody to look back and to say, we were never heard. Our voices were never heard. Hey, why did you choose Mary W. Jackson? Why not this person or that person? I would have really loved to have had an opinion.
Thank
Well,
you.
let me tell you, nobody can say that they weren't given the chance.
Thanks, Rita. Thank you.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Too wordy, but it was a really long kind of
It was
road.
more, yeah, I understand.
Thank
It was a
you.
long process, and it just shows that when you want to do something, you can get it done. That's what it showed to me. So we're going to move on to our roll call. Dorothy Wong.
Yes, thank you, Chair Jones. Let's start with Census Tract 4601, Victoria Knapp.
Present.
Connor Sepulveda.
Present.
4602, Billy Malone.
Present.
Nick Arnzen.
Present.
460301, Dorothy Wong is here. Melissa Morona. Thank you. 460302, Dr. Sandra Thomas.
She's excused, but would like us all to know that she loves us and she's watching on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, and also Chris O'Malley.
That would be me.
Thank you. 4610, Veronica Jones.
Here.
Thank you. Rod Bryce.
Excused.
Thank you. 4611, Pat Sutherland.
Here.
Thank you. Alan Peck. Hi, Alan. 4612, Reginald Wilkins.
Here.
Doug Cauliflower.
Here.
And rounding out, 4613, Sylvia Vega.
Present.
Thank you. Diane Markison.
Here.
I think we have, how many missing? Two?
Two.
Three? We have a quorum.
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, next we go on to approve our agenda. Councilmember Nat.
Good evening, fellow council members and members of the community, both here and watching online. There are agendas at the back of the room, as well as public comment cards that look like this. The council welcomes input from the community on both agendized and non-agendized items. If you would like to make public comment, please fill out the card and give it to a council person on either end of the dais. While the council does not respond to public comment during the meeting, if you would like a response, please make sure you include your contact information. This process is in place to ensure that everyone wishing to make public comment has the time to do so and that we can conduct this meeting in an orderly fashion. Council members, the Town Council Executive Committee met on Tuesday, May 9th to set the agenda for tonight's meeting. The agenda was circulated to you on Saturday, May 13th. I received one addition, and that is to add Cara Plord to item 4.1 as a co-presenter with Felicia Yin. Are there any other changes? Seeing none, I move the agenda be approved as amended.
All in favor? Any opposition? The agenda is accepted as presented. We move on to the chair's report. I am going to give up my time tonight for that report so that we can move on. So
And, go ahead.
that's it.
Okay, and I'm going to, in honor of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I yield my time to Councilmember Wong.
Thank you, Chair and Co-Chair. My name is Dorothy Wong. I'm a 20-year resident of Altadena. I found my way here from the state of Hawaii. I love Altadena for its diversity and its strength. That's my introduction. And now I am just going to give some highlights of really how we got to where we are today. Again, diversity is our strength. Now it is actually the celebration, May 2023, of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander, ever evolving. Starting in the 1970s, Jimmy Carter proclaimed a week of Asian American Heritage Week. Then in 1992, George Bush declared a month. So what are we really thinking about here? The San Gabriel Valley is the highest number of Asians in the United States of America. We are on the border here in Altadena. Words that come about and the evolution of the Asian American heritage really comes from policy shaping from our government. As I said before, proclaiming these months and dates of heritage. Patsy Takemoto Mink was one of the authors of Title IX that allowed women empowerment and also really for equal opportunity. All of this came together also in the movement of civil rights, which is really important here and now today in our community as it was in the 1960s. So words I just want to throw out there, which we can just think about really quickly, and I'm sorry I'm talking too long, but in here, it is anti-war. It is political, social change. It is Black power. It is, do Asians say that out loud? So what we really are is stronger together. Our diversity is our strength. Here, ever so much in Altadena, it's time for us to listen to each other and to work together for the quality of life in Altadena. So I leave you with this. I always end our meetings with saying aloha. In Hawaii law, the aloha spirit, and I will finish with this, just 5 words. The aloha spirit is coordination of mind and heart within each person. It brings each person to self, each person to think and emote good feelings to others in the contemplation and the presence of the life force. Aloha. The following words can be used. Akahai, meaning kindness to be expressed with tenderness. Lokahi, meaning unity to be expressed with harmony. Olu, Olu, meaning agreeable to be expressed with pleasantness. Ha'a, meaning humility, to be expressed with perseverance. And I'm sorry, with modesty. And the last word, ohonui, meaning patience, to be expressed with perseverance. These are traits and characteristics of the aloha spirit that I hope is alive here today in our community of Altadena. So let's celebrate the rest of the month of May, Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month.
Thank you, Dorothy. That was very good. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to our recording secretary, Nick Arnzen.
Thank you, Chair. The minutes from the April 18th Town Council meeting were sent out to full council last week. I did receive minor corrections and one addition. A revised report was sent to the full council, and no further changes were suggested. Are there any tonight? Seeing none, Chair Jones, I move that we accept the minutes by unanimous consent.
If there's no objections, so moved. Okay, now we move on to our treasurer's report. Chris
me.
O'Malley.
That's me. This will be quick
What's
because I
your
didn't
name?
make it down to the bank in time. We started on April 1st with, let me find the number, $1,975.75. There were no deposits or withdrawals. There will be a bigger one this month, I promise. And we ended with $1,975.75. The Altadena Town Council is a volunteer organization that depends upon the generosity of our residents to fund whatever we need to fund. So, as low-tech as it may be, if you wouldn't mind putting $1 or $2 in the can, that helps us out a lot to do our business. And if it winds up over here somewhere, if you could just give it to Reggie on the end, I would appreciate it. Say hi, Reggie. And I yield back.
Okay, thank you. All right, we move on to 2.5, corresponding secretary, Dorothy Wong.
Hi, really quick. I just want to give two highlights. You should have all received your LED streetlight conversion notice, which will be starting in June. So we'll post that on the website. I had a little fumfer with the website, but it's up and running, and so if anybody has any questions about that. And we'll be updating the schedule with all the amazing events happening in May that will take us into June. And I just want to make note that everybody for May 23rd, the Acona meeting will be having on the topic Nuccio's property acquisition by Polytechnic School. Speakers will be John Bracker, head of Polytechnic, and Michael Biquet, president of Altadena Wilds. And last but not least, the new trash service, organic waste, speaker Chris Shepard from LA County Public Works. And also coming up soon is the new bear-proof trash carts. That's it.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our public safety reports. Can we have our California Highway Patrol Officer Keller? I also saw the captain back there, right?
Boat captains, boat captain.
Come on up. We're friendly, we're friendly. For now.
Good evening, council members and members of the community. I'm Officer Keller with the California Highway Patrol Altadena office. And I'll be providing the safety report for the month of April. For traffic collisions, Altadena, it was reported 14 traffic collisions. One or two of those collisions were hit and runs. One of the 14 involved injuries. There was a DUI traffic collision, and the 11 other traffic collisions were property damage only. I'm happy to report there were no pedestrian or bicyclist collisions in April. Hopefully we can keep that going for the future. Couple things I'd like to bring up. We've been conducting a couple different SUs throughout the area that the Altadena office covers. Today we just did a commercial SU focusing on commercial vehicles along the 210 corridor. We've also been doing aggressive driving SUs, and that encompasses the unincorporated areas as well, where we're looking for speeders and aggressive driving habits. We attended the Science Fest at John Muir. We met a lot of the community, a lot of kids and their parents. It was a wonderful event. CHP, we are trying to hire 1,100 officers, so if you have any friends, family interested in law enforcement, please send them to chpmadeformore.com. There they can see the requirements, and if they have any questions, they can submit those there. We are continuing enforcement along Altadena Drive, Lake, and New York. We've received multiple complaints, and we have been out there enforcing quite often. Hope you have seen us. We haven't had to stop too many of you. So that is all I have for tonight, unless there are any questions. Yes, sir.
I was just curious, how are traffic collisions trending compared to last year? Like, are they up, are they down?
I don't have those statistics, but I can add them to next month's report.
Super. Thanks.
I have a question for Captain
Yes,
Moulton.
Tarzan.
Thank you for being here again. I asked you last month, the Bronstein settlement, great that it came through. It doesn't equate to justice necessarily, so I know community, we spoke last month, you're not able to give us details because there is an internal review. I do have a question about those reviews, not about the content. Is there an IPA or an OIR review happening as part of them, or is it just simply an internal review?
So the department's review is a separate matter, and what you've read about is what's coming from the district attorney's office. So, which is, again, that's
Okay.
that's separate from the CHP.
And does that exist as an IPA, an independent review?
We don't, I don't have any information on that. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, that's all I really can tell you is that we have, is that the, like I say, the DA's office is looking at that right now.
Okay, thank you.
So it's independent in that sense, I suppose, but.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think I'm just looking, is it strictly internal, or is there there's
No,
an
that-
outside review
Yeah,
existing or happening?
That is what's occurring right now with
Thank
the
you.
DA's office, yes, sir.
And thanks again for being
Of
here.
course, right, absolutely. May I also add, also to, and Upscaler, of course, like the rest of our cops team, does a fine job. I would like to add also that, so a lot of the stuff that we do at the Altadena area, you can follow us on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, CHP_Altadena. And we have a lot of information on there. And we put out a lot of the stuff that we do, and a lot of the stuff the services we provide and things of that nature. We also try to take a look at the comments that we get from community members and respond to those as well. So it's another way to reach out to us.
Okay, and I would just like to ask that maybe you and I find a way and to get someone here that can answer some questions and kind of answer some questions from the community about what happens next as far as changes or just how you're going to move forward after what happened. You know, just,
Right.
you
And we
can't
can-
keep
we-
going the same direction.
Yeah, we can, and so we can talk offline.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a community member with a hand up, maybe she has a question for you, but they'll have to go outside with you and talk
Absolutely.
about. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for being
Okay,
here.
of course.
Okay,
All right?
all right. Can we have our Altadena Sheriff Station up, Captain Jabari Williams, 3.2 on our agenda?
Hello, thanks for allowing me to be here today. So I'll start off with some crime stats that we have. In Altadena, our assaults are up 9%. However, a lot of those incidents are people that know each other or domestic violence incidents, and nearly all of them an arrest has been made. So it's nothing glaring, nothing that's unmanageable. It's just a matter of coming up with strategies to get family members to get along. I like to report that our property crimes are trending down, have been for the past 2 months. Residential burglaries are down 35%, and thefts from vehicles, including catalytic converter thefts, are down 29%. So people are doing, citizens are doing a great job of protecting their property. Specific arrests have been made of people that for certain crimes that have been a problem, so maybe that has something to do with the property crimes going down, but we hope to keep it that way. Last month, we talked about unhoused in certain areas of Altadena. Happy to report that there was looked like an encampment on Lake, close to Boston, right, not too far from the middle school. And we were able to get resources and find a place for that person. So that has moved. It grew to what we thought was several people in there. However, it was just that one person. It looked very bad. If you go down the street now, it looks totally different. So we're glad to help that person out. Yes. So on Lincoln, we were able to provide resources for someone there. However, they came right back to the area. And then looking recently, I believe there's more finding themselves on Lincoln. So we're going to continue to provide resources for those people, and hopefully we can find a place for them. Something that's been a hot topic lately are unpermitted food vendors. We're going to continue to work with the health department. The sheriff's department is limited on the enforcement that they can do with that issue. However, we'll go out with the health department and kind of work with them. And when I mean work with them, it's to provide sort of backup as they enforce more strict than what the sheriff's department can do. There are some things the sheriff's department can do. It's dealing with public safety. So if there's something, cars blocking an area, loud noise, things like that, you can call the sheriff's department specifically for that, and we can come out and enforce that easily. However, we are limited on what we can do with the unpermitted vendors until the sheriff's department's policy has changed. And we had a scare around St. Elizabeth Parish School. There was a young girl that was tried to be rused into a vehicle. Kudos to this young girl. She did what she was supposed to do, and she ran away. This could have been a very bad situation. We're glad it worked out the way it did. That situation is being actively investigated, and there are some leads, but I can't speak too much on it at this moment. But we're just glad it worked out the way it did. That could have been a very horrible situation. And last but not least, the sheriff, a visit by him is pending. I don't know when. There is an open invitation, and his staff has made it clear that he will make his way to Altadena. If not for a town council meeting, it'd certainly be for something like a town hall meeting or something like that. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay. We don't take questions from, yeah, you can see him outside. But I have a question. Oh, okay, go ahead, Connor, go ahead.
Quick update on, there was a young gal who was groped on the Lincoln corridor coming out of school. There's some rumors online that he had been released to serve a warrant, but then had come back or was immediately released. Do you have any update on the status of the perpetrator for that one?
I don't. I will look into that.
Okay.
I have the information on that person. Last I checked, they were still in custody, but I do need to look on. I'll double check on that.
Thank you.
I'll get that information to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and my question is about the food vendor, because as I came up here, the one that we've been trying to get moved is out there.
Lincoln?
Aren't there other laws like loitering, other things that you could use to, they're right there at the church right now. And I think there's probably someone going to be here tonight complaining about it.
Right, but if it's a public street, we wouldn't get them for loitering on that
On
public
a
street.
sidewalk next to the church?
It's public area, so we couldn't get them for loitering specifically. So.
Okay. Okay.
I would imagine that would come under public health.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right, public health is one, and then zoning.
Yeah, they've both
So
been out there and they come
I would
back.
imagine that would be the two departments that
They've both been there and they've come back each
Right.
time. They've been there.
Each time the health department will come out, they'll go, and then they do come back.
Yeah.
People are buying from these vendors, and that's probably the main reason why they keep coming back. I do caution people to be careful where, you buy your food that you eat. That's all I can say on that.
Yeah.
It is unpermitted,
Okay.
and there is a permit process.
Okay.
I went down, I was in Claremont the other day. I used to go to grad school there, and I went down Indian Hill, and there was probably 50 or 100 of these vendors on the, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was nothing like that. Admittedly, that was a long time ago, but I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was like more vendors on sidewalks open than there were businesses. And I guess my message is if they can't figure it out there, it's kind of pessimistic for us to figure out here, I suppose. I don't know, but it was crazy. I couldn't believe how many street vendors were out there. A lot of people shopping there too. So I don't know.
Since 2019, that's when the policy for the sheriff's department changed. We were able to aggressively enforce that. However, the last I checked, it was made very clear to me that the policy is still in place. So until that has changed, it's limited on what we can enforce as far as unpermitted vendors.
Yeah, and it's not the vendor, it's the location. That's the worst part.
I
That's
agree.
the worst part, is that people's homes and stuff are there.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Kenny? Okay. Okay, we move on to 3.3, LA County Fire. Marie Grecken. And a friend. And a friend.
Good to see you again.
We missed you last month.
Good to be back.
All right, I'm going to give the report. For the month of April, there were a total of 343 responses. 268 of those were medical calls, and we transported 214 patients. We had 3 fires, chimney fire on El Nido Drive, a trash fire at Fair Oaks and Woodbury, and a structure fire on Altadena Drive, accidental, electrical in nature. It was kept to the detached garage, but there was some little bit of spread into the vegetation. But they caught it. It's a total of $25,000 worth of damage. Our safety tip of the month is to be prepared for earthquakes, because you never know when they're going to happen. So drop, cover, and hold. If you're indoors, stay indoors. If you're outdoors, stay outdoors. Clear of everything. If you're driving, just try to pull over to the side. Slow down, pull over to the side. If you're driving during an earthquake, anybody have been driving during an earthquake? Feels like you have a flat tire. So just pull over in a clear spot, not underneath an overpass, not underneath power lines, but just pull to a clear spot and stop and stay in the car. Learn how to shut off your utilities. Keep your hallways clear. If you have hallways in your home, that's one of the safest places to be as well. And have an earthquake supply kit, food, water, flashlight, radio, batteries, and all the other stuff that you need. Are there any questions about the report?
I just have a question about the radios.
Yes. I have not been able to set up another distribution yet. It's been crazy. It has been crazy, and I'm going to be gone next month, so I will set up a distribution for July, and I will get that done. I do need to get back over here and get those radios distributed, so I will do that, but I will be gone in June, so it will be in July. And I will get word to Dorothy so she can post it on the website and get the word out publicly. I'll put it on Nextdoor for people who have that as well, and we'll get that taken care of. So thank you. And now I would like to ask Chief Sprengel to come up, and he's going to give you an update on our brush inspections.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. Appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about brush inspection. That is one of our big focuses right now, especially in the community here, and just give you an update of where we're at. So we started brush inspections on May 1st this year, and the deal with brush inspections, we want to wait long enough until the rain has somewhat subsided until the fuels have cured, so we're not doing double the work if we get rain down the line here. So we try to get as close to brush season as we can, but yet still be prepared for brush season. This year was a little bit different with the rain that we had this year. So to date, May 1st, we started, and we've been hitting the streets hard to try to get these done. The numbers that we have here in the Altadena community, 1,765. I will say that 965 of those have been completed. That's about 55% of the brush inspection. Okay, all set. So, it's a quick change. So, again, 55% completed, 13 of those not compliant. What that means is that we come back a month later, we give the resident, we work with the resident to try to get that compliant, because that is going to help us down the road as we come into your districts to try to defend structures and what have you. But I will say 13 out of that number is very, very good. So I appreciate us being prepared this year. This year is going to be, this is a little different year. We got a lot more fuel out there, as you know. And I will say this, our busiest brush seasons historically have followed rainy seasons. It doesn't seem right, but it is because of the amount of fuel that we have out there, the amount of grass that we have out there, and the grass is what carries our fires. So be prepared this year. I appreciate the residents that are already prepared. I can tell by the numbers that we are there. And just stay on it. If we do continue to get some rain, which there's some potential here in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure, just try to do the best that we can of keeping those grasses knocked down, keeping the deadwood cut out of those trees, and limbing up our trees, and then making sure that the roof eaves and what have you are cleaned up of leaf litter and what have you. That's usually the big ones out there. So again, I appreciate it. I appreciate the community being involved and being ready. And I would also say I will throw in another plug here for Ready, Set, Go. It's our program. It's our wildfire program preparedness plan of being ready, being set, and then when it's time to go, we go. You can go online for Ready, Set, Go on fire.lacounty.gov/RSG is where you would find Ready, Set, Go on our website. Any questions that I can answer in regards to brush inspections from the council? Great, appreciate it. It's good being back. Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep doing a good job. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to 3.4, and that's our CERT, our beloved Deb Havistat.
Thanks, Veronica. Beloved, okay. Hi. Altadena CERT is back to meeting the second Wednesday of every month at 5:30 here at the Altadena Community Center. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, June 4th. If any of you would like to join, we'd like to have you. LA County Fire is committed to training Altadenans interested in CERT. Let me or Maria Greikan know if you'd like to be trained before we plan our own training here in Altadena in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department. Our January meeting was canceled. In February, we discussed the Turkey-Syrian earthquake where over 59,000 people died from the lens of government and its response. The March meeting, we discussed ideas for the coming year and the rash of nationwide terrorist attacks against our power grid. In April, we participated in a memorial service for our good friend and participant, also an LASD volunteer, Dave Bucalo. In April, our CERT meeting was canceled. This month, May, We discussed our new map and how we plan to sketch out addresses of CERT, ATC, AMYN, and the Red Cross, coordinating with LASD for a large disaster. The LASD was responsible for getting us our new huge map. It's 44 inches by 33 inches. So now I can actually map out everybody's addresses. Recently, we had a public outreach booth at the Altadena Guild's event on Rubio Street, signing up at least 12 more Altadenans interested in CERT. In June, Sierra Madre CERT has asked Altadena CERT for Thursday, June 22nd, to join them in a potluck dinner. We've all tried very hard to meld our CERT communities, especially in the foothill communities. There will be an all-CERT LASD event at La Cañada High School with CV CERT running it and Sheriff Luna, Thursday, July 20th, starting around 5 o'clock. This year, we plan a refresher training course for CERT members that hasn't been scheduled yet. And as I've mentioned before, I'm looking for someone to take my place as leader of CERT for the Altadena LASD. I'll be happy to train them for about a year before they take the reins. Any questions?
Can you just tell us, for those of us that don't know, what does CERT stand for?
Oh, CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team, and we report to the Sheriff's Department in unincorporated Altadena, not to LA City Fire, which is where most of the other CERT groups report to.
Thank you. Any questions?
Hi, Billy.
Hi. I just remember one thing, and I think it was you that brought it up, because I hear you, and then I heard Maria talking about earthquake and earthquake preparedness. And I think it was you that actually did one time, and it's something that's always stuck with me, that I always have changed my habits, is always make sure you have a hard bottom pair of shoes or slippers wherever you're at or if you're sleeping.
Right.
Because during an earthquake, the thing that everybody treads on is broken glass.
Right, and that's the first thing that will happen in all of our houses. If they don't go down, your windows will break, in all probability.
Yeah.
It's a really big earthquake.
So I've never forgotten that, and that's been a really good tip.
It's also good to tie them to your bedstead if you can, or to the bottom of your bed. And I use a pillowcase. I have everything like that tied to my bed in a pillowcase, because in a 7+, say 6'5", 7+, oh my God, all of those things will just fly out. They might wind up in your living room. They're not going to be under your bed unless you've tied them down. Anything else? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. I feel safer already. Okay, let's move on to our special presentations. 4.1, Mount Low Medium. Kara. I'm not going to say your last name. And Felicia Yang. Oh, we got to move? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kara Plord, and I'm a civil engineer at Los Angeles County Public Works in the Stormwater Quality Division. Felicia and I are here tonight to share a presentation with you all and provide a status update on the Mount Low Median Stormwater Capture Project. So I'm going to pass it off to Felicia now. Thanks, Kara. Okay. Once again, my name is Felicia Yin, and I'll be presenting the Mount Low Medium Stormwater Capture Project. So as some of you may or may not know, phase 1 of the above-ground landscape improvement project is complete as of last year, and now we're moving forward with the phase 2 of the underground stormwater component project. As of right now, the total project cost is estimated to be around $8 million. Our proposed dry well system locations are located north of the median at Maiden Lane and south of the median at Mount Curve Avenue. For the underground components for this project, the major stormwater components are first a catch basin, which will help capture stormwater runoff, which will then be diverted into our diversion pipe, which will help lead the water into our pretreatment system, which will filter out trash and other settlements before moving into our dry well, which will help infiltrate the water into the groundwater basin underneath. Also for consideration, due to resident feedback, we are also considering curb gutters and inlets at the north side to help reduce and capture sheet flow. Next, for project info, we are anticipated to capture up to 10 acre-feet annually for a drainage area of 25 acres. This 10 acre-feet is enough for 20 households worth of water usage per year. This project will also help recharge the Raymond groundwater basin below. For funding sources, we have our county funds as well as our Safe Clean Water program, which was on the November 2018 ballot as Measure W, which is funded by parcel taxes, and we are also exploring other funding sources as needed. For project schedule, this is our tentative project schedule. We are currently in our design phase, which is slated to end May of 2024, and it is estimated and anticipated that our construction phase begins in January of 2025. If you are interested and want more information, we have our new project website as linked above, and that QR code will also take you to our project website. I've also included my contact information if you have any questions. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
I was curious to know how things fared this season with the rain. I had gone up there a number of times to sort of survey because we've had so many problems up there. For anyone who doesn't know, this is in 4601, my census tract, along with Connor's. Do we know how we did with flooding, given the amount of rain we had this year?
So we did get a resident who gave us video of how it looked like during the rain. So we did see some sheet flow, which is why we are considering those curb gutters, and we have seen some ponding at the bioswale, which is why we may be adding additional dry wells. Yeah. Are there any? Oh, yeah. Go. Yes. Yes, yeah. Hello.
So my question is, so then the actual parkway is coming from runoff? When you say sheet, that's like street runoff?
Yes, yeah.
Primarily, there's no pipes that are from other areas?
The runoff, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly surface runoff.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, any more questions? All right, thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to have 4.2 Eaton Canyon Natural Center. Did you want to introduce them? Okay, go ahead.
So we have, we always know that we have a parks report every month, but we've never heard about Eaton Canyon, which is also part of Altadena's park system. And so this is Lorraine Lazarus, who's on the left, and she is our new regional park supervisor there at Eaton Canyon, and then Brenda Hurst, who is the president of Eaton Canyon Nature Center Associates, which is the volunteer organization that supports the county. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Diane. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us today. As Diane mentioned, I'm the superintendent at Eaton Canyon Nature Center. About 17 years ago, I used to attend these often. I was a supervisor at Farnsworth Park in Altadena, so it's great to be back here. And I want to just to talk a little bit about Eaton Canyon, and also how ECNCA support us and how we work together to care for the canyon and provide the best experience for park goers. So the first thing I want to say is believe all the news articles in the media. The rain has made all natural areas just an amazing, exceptional year. So please come out and visit us. And I want to give you some tips, whether it's your first time coming to Eaton Canyon or your 100th time. How many have been there 100 times possibly? Okay, great. Some tips that will hopefully just make your experience better. So I always say start at the Nature Center. It's open 6 days a week with the exception of Mondays. And the Nature Center has, a lot of people have been there and don't even know the Nature Center exists, but there's a museum with recently updated exhibits, a beautiful open area patio to come and have lunch with your family and see the tortoises that just got out of a really long hibernation. And we have live animal ambassadors. And most importantly, a friendly face, a staff member, a docent that could answer any questions you have on recent wildlife sightings, what's blooming. So definitely come visit the museum. And the second tip I would give you is we have more than one trail. So a lot of people are in a V line for the main trail and it can get very congested. We have smaller trails all around the canyon that are shaded, less congested. You can take your time and use awesome apps like iNaturalist. Is anyone familiar with iNaturalist? Great. So iNaturalist is a great app to help you identify anything living in the canyon. You become sort of like a citizen scientist. So if you would download that app, you could even look at Eaton Canyon and see what's going on in Eaton Canyon, what's blooming, how many, lizards or whatever you want to say, how many mountain lion sightings or different flowers have been blooming in the canyon. And then the last but not least, if you are determined to take a hike on the main trail through the canyon, definitely stay on trail. We're overgrown with poison oak. It's also rattlesnake season. A lot of people try to create their own adventure and climb rocks and go make their own trails, and it's very dangerous for you and for your pet. So keep your pet on leash. And those are my tips for the actual canyon. A little bit about our programming. We have some awesome events coming up, and all of this information will be in the back table if you don't get a chance to write it down. We have a smart gardening workshop coming up this Saturday, May 20th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. We have a program called Donuts with Dad, which is the day before Father's Day, and that's a free program but does require pre-registration. And you'll eat some donuts, fill up with sugar, and then take an adventurous hike. What could be better than that? An educational hike, of course. So that is coming up. We have 2 weeks of summer camp, and this is, first week is July 11th through 14th, and the second session is August 1st through 4th. That's a half-day summer camp for school-age kids. We have a day in nature, which is one of our biggest events of the year. A day in nature is basically spending a day that's very family friendly with guided hikes, educational nature groups, art exhibits, animal presentations, guest speakers, everything you can imagine. So, and it's all free. So definitely get there early. That's Saturday, June 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I just have a couple more so I could. We have an awesome program that's run year-round called Everybody Explores, and I brought with me a backpack. So we rent these out for free, and they have really cool things inside for a child or even an adult with a childlike heart to explore the canyon. Binoculars, a journal, there's activities, and everything you need to keep a child busy and getting excited about hiking through the canyon. So that program is there Tuesday through Saturday. It's free. You just have to bring it back the day that you check it out. And we have, I think that's the last program I was going to announce. If you want really accurate updates, we have a volunteer-run fan page on Instagram. It's at Eaton Canyon Natural Area. And so I also wanted to highlight that. And then bring up Brenda Hurst.
Hi, I'm Brenda Hurst, of course. It's been said 3 times, I guess, now. But I'm the president of Eaton Canyon Nature Center Associates. We are, and I'm going to read this because I will probably say it wrong if I don't. So, the Eaton Canyon Nature Center Associates, which is also known as the ECNCA, is one of 9 chapters under the umbrella organization Nature Center Associates, which is NCA. And we are all part of this nonprofit 501c3 membership corporation and supporting partner of the Natural Area Park System of Los Angeles County. Our primary mission is to develop in children and adults an appreciation of the natural world and to preserve Eaton Canyon as a natural area for future generations. Some of our sister chapters that you might recognize are Devil's Punch Bowl. I don't know if everybody's been out there. Placerita Canyon, San Dimas Canyon, Vasquez Rocks, Whittier Narrows, and there's more. They're all within the county, and they all have nature centers there that you can also visit. But for us, at Eaton, we are all volunteers, about 30 of us at the moment, with no paid board members or staff. Memberships other than donation, and other donations, and gift shop income help support our Nature Center programs. Our office is located at Eaton Canyon Nature Center. Our volunteer hours are now recovering to pre-pandemic numbers of about 10,000 hours a year. Our volunteers augment paid county staff jobs at no cost to the county taxpayers. We sponsor Nature Center programs such as docent-led weekly family nature walks every Saturday morning. They are free, and also we do the docent-led moonlight walks, and the next one is June 2nd, 7 p.m. You can come on down there and go for a night walk with moonlight, hopefully, and they're really fun. They're just great, and hope you can join us. We have 3 more taking place this summer. And we have a website, so if you ever want information on what's going on down there, you can do that as well. We train docent naturalists so they can lead nature walks and interpret nature to all age groups through guided school tours, weekly story time, animal presentations, youth group tours, and service projects, which means scouts mostly, and nature camps. We staff school and community outreach programs with nature booths. We provide bus transportation grants to schools to enable field trips to Eaton Canyon. We conduct ongoing volunteer training. We operate the gift shop. We publish maps and nature guides. We conduct museum design and enhancements through our volunteer museum committee, and we assist staff with visitor services and animal care. We also support the center's native plant gardening group, conservation group, and park steward program. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but the Nature Center is the building, but around the building is a demonstration garden that was designed, and we pretty much handle all the plants. Those are plants that we have planted, and it's designed, and it's also got irrigation. So we have a group that keeps that as much under control as much as we can. Also, and I don't want to forget to mention that we have a wonderful Nature in a Box program that consists of nature-themed boxes for loan to school teachers and nonprofit educators. Each box, they're big. They're about this, they're like a big tub. They can be rented, they can be just, somebody calls in, they make an appointment, they pick them up from the school, and they can take them into your classroom. And each box has its own topic. There's a plant one, birds, mammals, reptiles, geology, and ecology. Each is packed with specimens, tools, and a resource guide that includes learning objectives, teacher preparation, planning tips, class activities, and literature. It's really great because you can bring in this whole thing and have a whole class project all at your, and then you just return it. Last but not least, we produce and distribute the monthly Paw Prints membership newsletter. Copies are available at the back table, as well as ECN stickers and pins are back there, if anybody's interested. And we maintain the ECNCA.org website. There is a QR code if you're interested in going to that back there. And as you can see, we're pretty busy and very active. And maybe some of you will join as a member or a volunteer. We would love to have you. As you can see, it's a great place. There's a lot of opportunities for whatever you're interested down there. You can be a docent-led tour person, or you can work in the gift shop, or you can just talk to people that you're interested in on the trails. It's a wonderful, and it's like a family. That's the main thing. I've been there almost 10 years. Thank you for including us in your Altadena Town Council meeting this evening, and I hope we see you in the canyon.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Diane, are you in there on their board? Is that, oh, okay. Okay, so, all right.
Yes, yeah, I'm on the board of the ECNCA, And so if anybody wants to get a hold of me to have any questions answered, I can do that too.
I just have one question. They
Yeah.
mentioned the website a couple times. Can you give me the website address? And then can you join as a member on the website?
Yes, you can join absolutely as a member on the website. And it's ECNCA, it's Eaton County Nature Center Associates.org, I think. But there's a, what Brenda said is that there's a QR code at the back. If you want to read the QR code, it'll take you right there. So, yeah. And please, everybody come. I think there are a lot of people from outside of Altadena that come all the time that see online and all of that. And I really want to encourage the Altadena folks to get there too. It's another one of our parks. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you for that. That was interesting. Okay, we're going to move right along to our community reports. And we have 5.1 Parks and Rec. Oh, that's not Ryan.
Hi, everybody. My name's Guillermo Portillo. I'm actually the recreation manager for Loma Alta Park and Farnsworth Park. So just give me a quick update. We are going to be having summer pass, so summer's coming up. As you guys know, we have our concerts on our movies. With regards to the concerts, they are going to be beginning June 15th, and it's every other Thursday. And then the movies in the park are actually going to be June 23rd, and that's every other Friday. So the movies and the concerts don't actually coincide on the same week, so you get one or the other, okay? And then we are going to be including some stuff like culinary classes. We're going to have fitness classes and a couple of specialty classes. So we've actually partnered with some of our stakeholders from our other programs so that we can actually pay them so that you don't have to pay for that contract class. So it'll just be a free day. You can bring your kids. So we might have some dance classes, instrument classes. We do have our Hour Spa program, so it's going to be for teens. We want to incorporate a little bit of the programming for them too. So again, if you have teens that want to come to a program, they can do their own thing. And then if you have the little ones, you can take them out to our community zones. Usually what we do have is our resource fair. We are going to have food. We're going to have snacks. So that's going to be a part of all of that. And then with regards to sports, we're going to be having volleyball and basketball coming up. That's from 5 to 17. And during the summer, we actually don't charge for those programs. So the registration is actually already online. I put a couple of flyers out there if anybody's interested. And then a big one that we're actually trying to market is our Girls Sports Day. It actually isn't located in this park. This area nearby, it's actually in El Carrizo Park. For some of the parents that do participate in our sports programming, we actually do locate some of the games over there. But it's because it is a part of the county, we are trying to market this. The goal is to actually empower females to participate in more sports. So there are going to be coaching clinics. There's going to be a couple of guest speakers, some giveaways, and some female athletes. So it's literally just for girls. And then we have another event coming up in June. We're going to have a Pride Month. So we are partnering up with Morgan. We're going to be having our event at Loma Alta Park and then a separate one at Farnsworth Park. And then another thing I know everybody's been wondering about is for our summer camp program. So it's been tailored a little bit different. It's actually the Everybody Plays program. It's going to be a drop-in program from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So you don't have to register. The kids just can come by. It's a drop-in program. Similar to our STEAM camp before, they're going to have similar activities where they're going to be able to do arts and crafts, sports activities, but it's, again, just more of a drop-in. Okay? But that's about it.
Thank you. Any?
What about the pool this year?
Actually, I left flyers out there too. So they haven't given us the exact hours of the pool, but they did give us for the summer for the pad programming. So they'll actually do movies there too. But they have the phone number. They said that they were supposed to release all the information after Memorial Day. Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you very much. I highly recommend the diving program that you did previously. My son did win 1 year.
Just so you know.
Guillermo, I have a question about lifeguards. I know that you offer training for lifeguards and it's an ongoing several-week program. But if someone is certified through the Red Cross, do you accept that certification to become a lifeguard or no?
I actually wouldn't be able to answer that question. That our swimming pools and our aquatics actually is a separate department.
Okay.
But I did leave a flyer on there. It has the phone number for Loma Alta Parks pool. So it's separate from our parks program.
Okay.
So you can call them and they'll be able to answer that for
Perfect.
you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to move right along to 5.2, library. Nikki Winslow. All right.
All right, I'll try to speed talk as usual. Good evening, Town Council members, community members, and everybody watching online. I'm Nikki Winslow, District Director for the Altadena Library District. Thank you, as usual, for giving us time to update you on the many, many things going on with the Library District. So really briefly, I'll just mention we're continuing to look for an adult services manager. If you know someone that may be interested in joining our team, please refer them to our website employment page. We're also looking at hiring 2 to 3 interns this summer, either high school graduates or college students that are focused on either marketing, IT, facilities maintenance, or library services. Send them to the website. We're still accepting applications for that. The plan is that they will be 10-week internships, paid internships, for about 15 hours a week. Redistricting, don't want to go into a lot of detail with this, but the process is almost over. What this means is that our 5 trustees will be living in the district that is being set by drawing these maps. The Board of Trustees asked for one variation to the green map. That was, they previously had 3 different versions of that. They'll be having the last public hearing to review the maps this coming Monday at the regular board meeting, May 22nd at 5 o'clock. If you're curious, check out the website. There's a redistricting page, and if you have any feedback or suggestions, please don't hesitate to email us. Building projects, we're continuing to work on the design for both library buildings. We did present to the PUSD Facilities Committee in March. We're exploring the former Franklin Elementary School, which is now closed, to be an alternate site for us while the main library is closed in approximately 1.5 to 2 years from now. So continuing to explore that so we can continue to offer services, programming, and browsing collections for the public. There's a second round of state grants for infrastructure projects that we're going to try to get some more money. We already were awarded $7.5 million, but I would like another 4 if we possibly can. And we're continuing to wait for a conditional use permit from LA County to be able to get moving on the Bob Lucas project. Fingers crossed that will happen sooner than later. We do have a web page, our Next Chapter site, where we continue to keep that updated with anything going on. This month's e-resource campaign features our databases, both Coursera and LinkedIn Learning. Coursera is a global online learning platform that offers access to courses and degrees from world-class universities and companies, and all of this is free just with your library card through our website. You can also access LinkedIn Learning, which offers job skills with more than 16,000 online courses. So check these out, again, free with your library card. Hard to believe that it's almost summer reading program. I feel like 2023 just started. I did bring a stack of flyers that are in the back that are promoting the launch event, which is Saturday, June 3rd from 2 to 4 in the main library parking lot. Lots of really fun things going on that day. Highly encourage people of all ages to attend. If you grab a flyer, though, it has a QR code that will take you to a 12-page magazine of more than 60 events that we're going to be holding in June and July. So please check that out. Lots going on this summer, as well as tracking minutes of reading. So please sign up and participate in the summer reading program. Real quickly, we have had the pleasure of hosting an artist in residence, Linda Illuminardi, this past year. Her last project with us is going to be putting together a community quilt using botanical printing. Residents of Altadena can sign up by their census tract, so please visit our website, and I believe there'll be information about how to sign up based on your census tract. The huge annual Friends of the Library book sale is coming up this weekend. I also brought flyers for that as well. They will have thousands and thousands of items if you're interested. That'll be from 10 to 4 on both Saturday and Sunday. 10 to 12 is for members only, but you can join the Friends for only $10. So please show up and buy a lot of stuff. We're trying to clear everything out. In terms of music, this weekend we also have the fabulous Mount Low Chamber Players, the Reed Quintets, inside the main library on Sunday at 3 o'clock. If you've never attended a Mount Low Chamber program, I highly recommend. They're amazing. And then it's already our last second Saturday in June on the 10th from 7 to 9 with Groovis Maximus. We had over 550 people this last Saturday for Upstream. So if you're coming, I would highly recommend that you bring your own chairs. So art, we do have a Fab Lab. So our Fab Lab is like our makerspace program coming up on May the 27th. If you've ever wanted to learn how to use a Cricut, please register for that event. It's at 2 o'clock at the main library. And our art exhibit right now is Memories That Make Home, which is by Kimberly Espinosa on loan from Lost Photos Project. And you can check that out at the main library through the end of June. So a couple other community programs. Because we have lots going on as usual, we've partnered with WellBe Health to offer a monthly program or workshop. This month, it's this Friday from 10:30 to 1, and with some assistance on how to sign up for Medi-Cal. But each month will be a different program. This Saturday for kids, we have Mad Science, Fire and Ice from 11 to 12. And the following Saturday, May 27th, a tea tasting program at the main library. And this is my last slide, I promise. Our Friends of the Altadena Library's annual membership program is going to be coming up on Tuesday, June 6th at 6 p.m. at the main library, and will feature our own trustee, Boone Lim of Blue Origin, presenting a program called The New Space Race. So highly encourage you to come check that out and become a Friends member if you're not already. And then lastly, on June 10th, in partnership with Nick and organizations in the community, we're happy to host the opening ceremony for the second annual LGBTQ+ Altadena Pride Walkabout at 10 a.m. Please come join us for this inspiring event. Again, thank you for your time and attention tonight, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Diane has a question.
Hi, Diane.
Hi. You said you're getting ready to open a CUP, and so if you can, whoever's doing that or in charge of that for you, get in touch with us so that we can help usher that through.
Okay.
It'll be really, it'll help a
Okay.
lot. Yeah.
Good to know.
Because it'll have to come before land use and the town council, so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
will help.
that. We do, and our planner left 2 months ago, so we now have a new planner, but I will reach out. Yeah, yeah, but thank you for that. All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki. Okay, we're going to move on to the Chamber of Commerce. Judy Matthews, come on down. Oh.
Excuse me for being absent last month, but I'm here now, right? Okay. Good evening. Altadena Chamber of Commerce and its members have a full calendar of events for the month of May to keep our community involved and informed. Speakers are being added to our 2023 speaker series, and on March 30th, Supervisor Catherine Barger opened the Chamber's 2023 speaker series addressing the state of the community. As new speakers are added to the series, the information will be made available on the Chamber's website at altadenachamber.org. Beginning in June, Altadena Chamber of Commerce and Civic Association will have an open session of its board meeting for the public to attend the first Tuesday of each month, 10 a.m., excluding holidays. The first open session will be held virtually on Tuesday, June 6, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Zoom access information will be found on the Chamber website. Altadena Chamber of Commerce and Civic Association will be celebrating 100 years of serving the community and local businesses with its centennial celebration Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at Altadena Town and Country Club. The event is a Roaring Twenties evening affair. I know everyone wants to come to that. Get your little feathers and have fun. And you do not want to miss this event. Information for these and other events are available on Altadena Chamber of Commerce website. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Does anybody have questions of Judy? No? Okay. Pat, it's your turn for ACAB 5.4.
Thank you very much.
Whenever I mention to somebody that I happen to belong to ACAB, the very first question is, what in the dickens is ACAB? ACCAB, which is Altadena Community Center Advisory Board. And the members of the board are representatives of all of the groups who have space in this particular building. Currently, we are meeting on a monthly basis up until July, when it's July the 8th, right? Yes, July the 8th. We will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the center, and after that, we'll be meeting on a every 2 months basis. I think you're all aware that this building, or there is new management for the building, and some of the updates that we're looking at doing would be things like painting, lighting, that sort of thing, and the county is currently getting some bids on that sort of thing. And as soon as we know what can be done, then I will pass on that information. And I was very happy to see when I came in tonight that the charging stations are up and running. So that's kind of exciting that it's not just an empty space out there. And that's all for tonight.
Okay, thank you, Pat. Okay. Okay, we're going to move right along to our community reports. We have land use, Diane Markison. You again.
Okay, yeah, me again. The Land Use Committee met on May 2nd, and we had a presentation from LA County Regional Planning about the proposed climate action plan. I don't know if folks are aware of the fact that the County Regional Planning is working on a climate action plan, which is a long-term plan of how to meet certain goals for emissions. And I encourage everyone in Altadena to go review the materials about the proposed plan and to provide feedback if they have any. I'm going to give you this really long URL because I don't know any other way to do it. It is planning.lacounty.gov, which is how you get to regional planning, /long-range-planning/ climate-action-plan/documents. We tend in Altadena to sort of be ho-hum about a lot of stuff that's going on with the county and then get worked up when it goes into effect and we didn't give any feedback. I really, really would encourage everybody. One of the things, for example, that they explained to us is that they're looking at possibly requiring windows to be energy efficient before you can sell your home. So there are a lot of things that, I mean, it makes sense if that's the way that you're going to get people to get more energy efficient homes, but you have the right to make comments and to really understand it, and I would encourage everybody to go to the website. There are a lot of really good ideas I think that they also have. Thanks very much. That's it.
Oh, that's it. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah, we should put that because it's really long.
Yeah, sure, okay. We can put that link on.
I'll send it, if you don't already have it, because you were at the meeting, but I'll send it to you.
Sure. Then we'll
Okay,
double check.
okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our Communications Committee. Our Chair of the Communications Committee, Nick Arnzen.
Thank you, Chair. If you're not familiar with the Communication Committee, continues to try to push forward our communications. And we split into kind of 4 groups for 2023. One of those groups I just wanted to let the council know we'll be reaching out to you all in the next few weeks. That's a communication task force. We're kind of trying to form a central hub to get information from county to residents, but we want your feedback, and then eventually we're going to want your approval. So maybe the buy-in is to get your feedback and make it what you want it to be. So in the next couple weeks, if you have a few minutes, you're going to get an email just asking you some pointed questions, but also it gives you an opportunity to see what we're working on and try to help us shape that. That's it. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, goodness, you guys are good tonight. Okay, let's move on to Safe Streets, 6.3. Dorothy Wong.
Thank you, Chair Jones. So I just want to let everybody know that the month of May is Bike Month. And also, the County of Los Angeles is updating for the first time in well over a decade, and perhaps the second version of the bicycle master plan for unincorporated Los Angeles County. So there were a couple of virtual meetings and 3 in-person meetings so far. And we're working to have at the Safe Streets Committee at our meeting this month on May 25th at 7 o'clock to have LA County Public Works and their partners work with us to better learn about how we can give input as a community to the master plan, which will be very exciting. So again, our Safe Streets meetings are monthly, the 4th Thursday of the month at 7 o'clock. And on the website, you can go to the Safe Streets Committee page and register for the meeting. So that's really amazingly exciting. And in fact, earlier this month, I wanted to give props to Oak Knoll School and Sarah Wolf. Their entire school walked and rolled from Farnsworth Park to their school. And I think Lee was there, and we had Anish Saraya from Supervisor Barger's office, launched the children and teachers and parents, and it was really awesome. And then Avison School is taking up the Bike to School Challenge next week. So if anybody in your census tracts in your schools wants to encourage people to move by different modes, it's a great time to even think about what feels safe, what doesn't feel safe, what roads you might be riding your bicycle on. So that's exciting. And again, this week, Thursday or Friday is actually bike to work day. So if you have a bicycle, go out there. And then on May 28th is going to be the Golden Poppy bicycle ride of the Altadena Heritage Golden Poppy Award Garden Homes, which is really awesome.
Hey, Dorothy? Dorothy, didn't somebody get a Golden Poppy Award that's nearly?
By the way, we're going to take a tour.
Me again, yes.
And we'll wave. Maybe Diane will have refreshments at her house.
Congratulations.
She has a beautiful yard.
Congratulations. It's actually pretty cool because the people go out there and tour the homes and, volunteers to then sort of select the homes. So Diane got selected and a lot of other great folks. So that's pretty awesome. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the Traffic Safety Directive. The Safe Streets Committee had a follow-up. And then I don't know if, Victoria, you're going to talk about your section of that. But I just want to say, generally speaking, that there will be some paint improvements, which may also lead to crosswalks, edge line, and different types of treatments that can help traffic calming. And I think it was also presented a little bit in our town council meeting. So that work's going to start in June, and that's really exciting. And for those who are concerned about the intersection at Fair Oaks and Altadena Drive, that is a long-term project, as well as Fair Oaks and Loma Alta. So if you have ideas, it's just a great way for us to maybe walk around and also see how we can look at traffic improvements. But that will be a signal improvement. And then also, are you going to talk about your Figueroa signal?
Oh, yeah,
So lots of exciting things on traffic safety improvements in Altadena are happening. So get involved, speak your mind, and we'll see how we can continue.
Okay, but the traffic light, Pasadena is, they don't want the light. We talked to the supervisor, and she says there's ways to make the light happen and still make Pasadena happy, because one side of the street's Pasadena, one side's Altadena.
And it was on the agenda, the Board of Supervisors.
Right, and she made a motion
Yes.
to make it happen. So we've been waiting 7 years, I look back on my emails, for that traffic signal. So, okay, thank you for reminding me.
I have a quick question. Just,
Okay.
Dorothy, for the bike route that they're working on, is there a map somewhere that is like on your website or something that we can see what the map is? Once again, we tend to be very lackadaisical about addressing this stuff as a community. And I would encourage everybody, if we can see where the map is, to go look at your street and see if your street's on the bike map, because then you'll be aware of what's coming. So is it on your website?
The map is in development, but we'll put it on the website.
Yeah, I just think everybody should see
Yeah,
it when
yeah.
it comes out. Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you. So, yeah, I know that Safe Streets has been real busy. I get information almost every day. So, all right, we're gonna move on to general public comment. And you wanna call out the names, and we asked you to start lining up so it moves quickly, or come close to the front.
So I just wanted to make sure that everybody who wants to make public comment has submitted a public comment card. If you haven't, please do so. Otherwise, we have them all. I want to start with Veronica Batten. Please come up, and you have 2 minutes.
Hi, my name's Veronica Badon. I'm the owner of Badon Tennis Academy at Loma Alta Park. The tennis courts are located next to the garden and the equestrian center. I'm an Altadena native, and I attended Longfellow, Elliott, John Muir, Pasadena City College, and Cal State Olay on a tennis scholarship. I'm a retired tennis professional, and I've been teaching at Loma Alta Park since 2002, and I've been teaching at John Muir High School since 2021. I teach with 3 other instructors at Loma Alta Park and John Muir High School, and our mission is to empower children to become strong, confident, and decisive. We develop a positive competitive spirit with sportsmanship through encouragement, respect, and discipline. We teach kids and adults, and our program centers on moving students through the learning stages, beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. At John Muir, they haven't had a tennis program in 20 years, so I'm starting from scratch. And we have 7 committed students in our program, and we have more freshman tennis players coming in the fall. We took students to the Paribas Tennis Open in Indian Wells this year, and it was an inspirational and motivational experience for them. I started with 1 class, and now it has grown into a program that has produced 2 #1 juniors, 5 top 50 juniors in Southern Cal, high school students, college students, and professional level players. My son, Jean-Baptiste, was a top 20 player in the nation and #1 in the boys 18s, and he's playing college and professional level tournaments now. And I would like to continue growing the sport of tennis in Altadena. And I will be asking you for your support in my ongoing effort to obtain a multi-year contract with the LA County Parks and Recreations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, we also have, I'm going to have Bobby Thompson and Jeannie Thompson come up.
Good evening, everyone. My comments are about the taco stand that is operating on Lincoln Avenue from 4 p.m. until midnight. I repeat, 4 p.m. to midnight every night. We did not purchase our homes to be impacted this way. The neighborhood is continually affected every evening by increased traffic, more cars making U-turns, bright lights in our windows, the inability to sleep due to generator noise, car doors slamming shut, etc., and now music from the stand. This taco stand is unlicensed, no health permit, partially blocking the sideway, on partially the church's property, dirtying the streets and sidewalks with their prep and cleaning water, and they probably pay little or no taxes. The disruption of our peaceful neighborhood is now in its 8th month. There seems to be a sudden influx of food stamps appearing all over the west side of Altadena. This is affecting everyone's peace of mind, safety, and property values. There must be more that the county and the town council can do to help us. The law talks about vendors' welfare, but what about the people's welfare, the neighborhood welfare? We are getting little resolve for the disruption of our welfare. We are requesting the town council place on the agenda a vote for our support that the taco stand is a nuisance and for the homeowners on Lincoln Avenue. I suggested everyone come by in the evening around 8 or 9 and see what we've been putting up with for about 8 months, and then you'll understand. If this was your street, what would you do?
Thank you.
My name is Bobby Thompson, and I would just like to follow up on my wife's. A couple of things I heard tonight, which I said, wow. I was on the town council 20 years ago when they first opened this up. I was on the town council when we used to meet in the library, the main library. So 20 years surely go by quick, and to see new faces, it's good to see that it's still going on. But to follow up on my wife's, like she said, we didn't buy our house for a taco stand to be in front of it. About a year ago, I put some solar panels on my roof. About 8 months ago, I did a landscape in my front yard. All of that cost me money. And to have this taco stand across the street from it, why did I do it? I should have just moved, because it's really a hassle. Now, people are walking across the street. The taco stand is on the west side of Lincoln Avenue. We live on the east side. People are parking on the east side, walking across the street to the taco stand. Not to say something would happen, but I hope it don't happen, but it could happen. The longer they stay there, the bigger they get, the more people come. We got to get this thing out of here. And with your help, I hope so. I was hoping to see the barbers, Supervisor Barber, people here, Holden's people here, Portotino people here. Those seem like to me the people that can really help us. And I don't see them here. So as a body, would you guys please ask them to come so we can talk? Also, 1 minute. Ms. Jones, you asked us to make some presentations, pictures and things like that. We have the pictures. Okay? And if I can hook up with your Ms. Wong here, we can actually show you some of the things that's going on. A possum was roadkill right in front because he was trying to get to the taco stand. We have crows in the morning time picking at the sidewalks to get the food that the people left. Okay? It's terrible. Please help us.
No.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have Steph Blank and Tony Johnson. Is Steph still here? Yep. Oh, you're there. And Tony? Okay.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Blank, and I'm a 19-year Altadena resident, and I'm here representing myself, but also showing up for Racial Justice Altadena, which is a group of we organize white folks in Altadena for racial justice. And I'm just here saying his name, Edward Brownstein. And thank you, Nick, for checking in with the CHP about an independent review. And I'm also here to say Charles Towns' name, also requesting an independent review and accountability and firing of the officers who used excessive force. And also support bringing Sheriff Luna here for a conversation with Altadena residents on behalf of Charles's family, but also for all of us to create some transparency and accountability. And then I'm also here about the mural on the wall of the unincorporated coffee shop. And I'm asking for accountability and a dialogue. Asking businesses to be accountable to the community and good neighbors, which is not what's happening with their response and the ongoing struggle between being heard, the neighbors wanting to be heard about what that mural represents and how it's misplaced in our community. And so I'm hoping that town council can help facilitate or create some space for that kind of dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tony Johnson, and I'm not from here. I'm from La Cañada. But I was driving by very soon in conjunction when Charlie Towns was killed. And I went and I spoke to the people at the mobile station, and then I went to see where they had put a very nice picture on the tree. And then I was driving home, and there were some sheriffs there. And so I stopped and I spoke to the sheriffs. And that's the last I ever heard. And I was glad to hear you speak about it, but I really kept my ear to the ground, trying to understand what's happening about Charlie Towns. And I'm quite clear that Anthony McLean, it took years for them to do anything. And I just don't think it's fair. I don't understand. I have called, when I talked to the sheriffs, I asked them what I could do. You know, how can I find out? And they gave me a telephone number. I've called that number several times, and they always say, you have to talk to so-and-so, and I leave my telephone number with so-and-so, and I never hear back anything. I do have a map of what the possibilities are of who would investigate, but I can't find out who is investigating now. And so, thank you, I see that. Even when I go to the website and try to figure out where it is in the process, I can't find that. So we need to, I feel very badly that he died right here, very close to certainly where I live and where I pass all the time because I go play pickleball at Farnsworth Park. But seriously, guys, I hope that something will happen for him and for his family. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is V here? Okay, V, we've got you, and then Nick, are you still going to do public comment? Okay, those are the last two.
My name is Vi Stewart Gordon, and I'm in Census Tract 4611, and I'm here to ask about a dog park. So I don't know the process, so I would like to find out some information what the process would be, who I would contact, what would that look like to make happen. I walk my dog up to Farnsworth Park, and I have noticed unkept area, Marengo Avenue and Mount Kerr, Forest Park. So that's why I'm here, finding out about what would that look like and what would be the process. And if somebody can let me know, I appreciate it, so I can help and maybe go out in the neighborhood, the community, and see if I can get some other like-minded people who feel like I do, so we can try to get a dog park by Altadena, because I don't think we have one. If so, let me know.
Is there contact information that you can complete so that so that someone can get back to you? And I
Okay.
pass it around that way and then,
Thank you.
okay, Nick? 2 minutes, Nick.
Thank you.
Did you go to sleep?
I'm a resident, 4602. I am not a council member right now. So to be clear to the community, Town Council, thank you for agreeing to support the Altadena Pride Celebration, which is the second annual. Crazy to me that we haven't had one prior. Happy to run it. The second annual celebration will be on June 10th. It's 5 events connected by a walkabout. It's healthy, it's fun, it's for families and everyone. Council, if you want to hang a pride flag in your house, I have pride flags with me. And while supplies last, if anybody out here wants a pride flag, I'll gladly give you a pride flag. There's also cards on the back. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, is that?
That wraps up public comment.
Okay. Thank you, everybody that spoke in public comment. You will hear back, or there is movement on a lot of the things that were brought up tonight, and we can discuss that movement when we contact you, but we will. Did you put I know your contact information. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, all right, we're gonna move on to census tract reports, 8.1, 4601.
Good evening again. I just wanted to update the community that prior to the fatality that occurred on Mendocino at Holliston, I had ordered a traffic study for Altadena Drive at Holliston because we had a number of residents in Census Tract 4601 and honestly beyond that were concerned that there was no safe area or no safe crossing between Allen and Lake. So I wanted to report back that, and Councilmember Wong alluded to this as part of the greater plan for some traffic safety improvements in Altadena, that the traffic study for Altadena Drive at Holliston was complete. And the recommendation by Public Works is that we install a 4-way stop at Holliston and Altadena Drive and and crosswalks. So because of the type of installation this is, it needs approval from the Board of Supervisors. So it will go before the board, and the expectation is that the installation for this will occur towards the end of this summer. So everyone can look for that, and it will, in talking to Public Works, I also attended a block party for a street that's on a cul-de-sac in Census Tract 4601 that's off of Porter. And definitely there's concern that putting in a 4-way stop at Holliston is going to change the traffic patterns. So there's going to be a traffic study on Porter between Altadena Drive and Mendocino. We're also doing a traffic study north of Altadena Drive onto Noble. There's somehow became a raceway for motorcycles to reach Loma Alta Drive. So we need to figure out what's happening there. The residents along Porter would like to see traffic cushions go in. So that is part of the evaluation for that stretch of roadway on Porter, south of Altadena Drive. So lots going on, as Councilmember Wong also alluded to, in terms of trying to calm traffic and calm speeders, and especially those that use our throughways as their freeways when we actually live here. So that is it for me.
Thank you. Okay, 8.2, 460301.
Thank you, Chair Jones. And just to piggyback off of Victoria, so we did talk about Fair Oaks in the directive, but there's also been a lot of community concern around the schools at Lincoln and Altadena Drive. So keep an eye. We submitted a petition of, at least to start, to really look at connective space separated from cars from Loma Alta Park down to the schools at Avison and Odyssey. And again, the Avison students are going to participate in Bike Week, so we can get them moving and reduce how many cars drop off their children. And then I just wanted to toss to Melissa if she wants to give us the final closeout on, or the update on SCE.
Cutover from a 4 to 16 kV on the Crosby Circuit, which runs from Fair Oaks and Altadena all the way up into the Meadows. They are about 80% done with their work. They're going to do a road closure and an all-day outage next week on the 24th. However, the road will be open to residents. And if you have any questions about that, we are nearly done. It's very exciting. It's a multi-million-dollar project, and SCE is trying to do the best they can to finish before the hot weather comes. So, thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. And the last but not least, the Altadena Farmers Market is in transition. So keep your eyes, ears, and support voices out there. And the last I heard, LA County Parks, I don't know if you all heard this too, is looking to also sustain the farmers market. Otherwise, there were 3 independent market owners that were interested in taking over. So if you're interested in the Altadena Farmers Market, stay up to date. You can just Google Altadena Farmers Market or AFM? What is it, Alan? AFM? Oh, yeah. So anyway, Alan sells his great products there. Jellies, jams, and cookies and fun stuff there. Anyway, Altadena Farmers Market, stay in touch on that. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Just before we call for adjournment, chill. No. I know we're ready to get out, but I just want to say there's a lot going on between the mural, policing, traffic, new libraries, taco stands. There's a lot going on. And even though we sit here and we talk about it, we're also working on all of it. the town council is leading the charge on all of these things. And it just doesn't get highlighted or put in the newspaper, but we are on top of it and staying on top of it. And the supervisor does watch this meeting. Her office does participate and watch and comment on the meeting and on what they heard. So it's important, the public comment is a very important part of the meeting. So thank you. And I'll call for adjournment.
Second? Second?
Okay, wait a minute, we're having too much fun. Okay, meeting adjourned.